This is my last video for the night, or should I say, for the day, since it is officially 1 o'clock, and I need to carry my ass to bed after I finish this one more round of Commander Shepard. So as I left, I was telling you guys about cultural differences and backgrounds. Alright, I'm going to try to do this without being a complete racist and a dick. Alright? So, if you were exceptionally sensitive to some things, you probably shouldn't watch this video. I'm not going to use racist remarks, but I'm not going to be speaking exactly politely on racist things. And I'm not going to use Black History Month as an excuse to fucking be ghetto. Alright? I'm not going to try and be ghetto. But I am going to drop you 99.9% of real stuff. And if you're one of these people of these ethnic backgrounds, black, white, Asian, Latin, whatever, and Latins, I'm sorry, you're Asian. You're Mongoloids. The only people who are special on this planet are people like me who are mixed with damn near everything. Alright. So, if you are extremely sensitive to racial stuff, because I'm kind of extremely sensitive to racial stuff, although I'm probably the only person on the planet who does not have the right to be a racist, you probably want to stop watching now. Alright? Because I'm about to start talking. And you're not going to like what I have to say about cultural divide and differences. Alright? So being that it's Black History Month, I'm going to actually start with black people. Alright? And there are many shades of us people of color. Alright? And yes, I am black. I may feel more Native American, but I am also black and I'm also white. So that's why I said I don't have the right to be racist. Alright? I'm the last person on earth who has the right to be racist. And, you know, racism isn't a problem unless you are racially sensitive like myself, which is why I'm going to address this about cultural differences. So, here it is in its fullest detail. Like it or leave it alone. And I have, like, oil or something on my damn computer. That's just great. Well, I'm going to do something completely out of character and dirty up a shirt. Fuck it. That's the black in me saying, fuck it. And that did absolutely no good. Still no good. Alright. I'll pick that up tomorrow. So, here's where the cultural divides between a lot of colored people. Alright, black people, we love everyone else and hate each other. Alright? I'm sure you guys are probably thinking, you're not supposed to tell the people of the fucking world this, James. Fuck you. I'm gonna tell you anyway, because it's the fucking truth. No one hates black people more than black people, except maybe neo-Nazis and the Ku Klux Klan, who, as Dave Chappelle said, and I've always said it before he said it, but I can never prove it to anybody, the Klan has probably been led by a black man. At one point, at one time, he has decided to fuck somebody's day. And the top 5 guys probably know that main grand wizard or grand dragon or whatever the hell they call themselves is a black man. They probably abducted him and, you know, said, hey, how would you like to make a difference in the world by helping us hate your people? And he probably had a bad experience with other black people, and he probably said, fuck yeah, I'll do that. Give me the grand wizard. Alright, so like I said, nobody hates black people more than black people. And you guys aren't going to like this. If you're from Africa, I do have African friends, so let me apologize to you now. But it's not you guys, it's some of your fellow countrymen that just don't like black people. I learned this in Canada. I learned this in high school. I can't really say grade school. You might as well say it's grade school because it's just a bunch of kids that like to bully people. And bullying should stop after grade school. But apparently no one really knows how to grow up. But no one hates black people more than black people. I was in Canada with the Jamaican basketball team, the wheelchair basketball team. And even they told me, you know, hey man, Africans just don't like black people. They don't like people from Jamaica. If you're not African, they don't want a damn thing to do with you. Okay, cool. I respect that. But they also hate themselves and they hate their women because they sew the women's booties shut and do all kinds of that. And I'm not talking about our asshole. You know, they do all kinds of nasty things. They rape their own women. They beat them. They rape them. They treat them like dog shit. And they make them become sex slaves to people like ISIS. Alright? And in America, because my skin's a little lighter, A lot of brown-skinned brothers don't want me to succeed. I don't feel that way towards them. To each his own. Now, if you're doing something and you're doing real good at it, hell yeah. And there are brothers that are lighter than me that don't want me to succeed. I'm like, just because you have stronger white features or whatever, you're no better than I am. But apparently you may think you are, and to you, more power to you. But most people that are of color, that are considered black, hate other black people. Now, I'm saying this because of experience, and some of you may not have had this experience, and I hope that you never have to have this experience. But if you do, you'll reference back to this video, and you'll think, yeah, that little mixed guy was actually 1,000% correct. No. And the thing with black people, I don't understand why we haven't gotten it together, because the whites and the Asians and the Latins, they have this shit together. They don't really hate their own people. They may have dislikes for certain clans of their people, but they don't really hate their own people. But black people, without question, without a simple thought of remorse or giving a damn, most black people hate other black people. Now, there are some black people, we have our shit together. We don't hate other black people. We pray that everybody gets their shit together and wish nothing but success. But for the majority, and there is a majority, not a minority, there is a majority of black people who just straight fucking hate black people. Alright? This is the time, and this is only the time that I be ashamed to be black. And like I said, I started with them first because it's Black History Month. And we have a lot of black heroes that aren't acknowledged. And we have a lot of black heroes that are acknowledged. Everybody acknowledges this Tuskegee Airmen. Everybody better acknowledge John Henry. And they acknowledge Thurgood Marshall and other black people that we can name if I could remember them. You feel where I'm going with that? That's kind of stuff that I'm talking about. I should be able to remember these people, and I don't. And it's not that I'm not trying to, and I am ashamed that I don't remember them, but I've had a lot of worse experience racially from more black people than I've ever had from anyone else. And it's not my fault. I didn't ask to be born into a family who supported interracial dating and procreation. No, it is what it is. In both my family, both sides, my mom and my dad's side, well, the apple is not always greener if it's coming from the same damn tree. Sometimes you have to venture off into forbidden fruit sometimes to get your fill. Yeah. So I'm going to move on now. I'm going to get off of black people, and I'm going to go on to white people. Alright? There's a discontent for black people. I'm not going to even say it's a hate. I'm going to say it's a discontent. And why am I going to say it's a discontent? Because hate is a powerful word. And you can't always prove that somebody hates you because you're black and they're white. You can't do that. Because if any case, like I said, me being multicultural, I don't have the right to be racist. I've met white people who are discontented with me. I've met white people who are just naturally fucking scared of black people because of rumors and TV and stereotypes and all that shit. And I'm not going to say they're wrong. But, also how you are raised in society affects how you become a grown person. As I probably told you guys this before, I've had some racist incidents. And like I said, I've probably had more racist incidents with black people than white people. But the white people, the racist incidents hurt more because it's a racist incident. And it's a racist incident. And it kind of fucks you up a little bit. So, as I said, I may have told you this before, so I'm going to give you a clip note. There was a time when I was walking down Main Street, and a white lady went across the street, past me, and back across the street on the same street as me. And I just couldn't let that go. So I had to say something. And I did. And then there was another time where I got jumped by white cats at my job because I was showing off, and then I had to really show off. And, they never came back, they never bothered me. But things like that, it just kind of disturbed me. And the worst one of all was when I was in grade school and a little white girl called me a nigger and I busted her mouth open. That wasn't cool, and I've never forgiven myself for that, and I never will, because you should never hit a woman. I'm not without sin, alright? Let's get that out of the way real fast. I'm not without sin. But sometimes a discontent can lead to really bad things. And as of lately, within 2015, the discontent that white people were getting from us because of them killing us is basically the same damn thing. But the thing is, people have started recording, and that's been a blessing in disguise for the people that are victims and not so much for the cops. And with the Trayvon Martin and all the missing people here in Charlottesville, and the Hannah Graham and the Morgan Harringtons and all this other shit, the Blacksburg, and everything that I've touched on before, the discontent of us as people from both sides is just fucking wrong. So, how do we fix it? We fix it by trying to understand. And I say, Eddie Murphy had it right. Eddie Murphy should take 5 black people, get them made up to be white for a whole day, and let them live as white people. He should take 5 black people. I just said that. He should take 5 white people and get them to be black for a day. But don't let them live in their part of the world. Move them from like California to New York. And move the black people from New York to California. Or let's meet in the middle. Let's move to Montana or Texas or somewhere where there's an equal amount of discontent for everyone. So, that way they can do that. Now, the only problem with like trying that with an Asian family is that Asian features are too damn strong. Okay, so that might not work out. You can put them in feather outfits and shit and let them go live on the reservation, but then that would be kind of like a return to the World War II entrapment camps. Same goddamn concept. So, in light of all that, there's been a lot of discontent from whites to blacks and from blacks to white, and it's been like that for fucking centuries, since slavery. And the thing is, they're not the only ones that suffered during slavery, because Native Americans lost damn near everything. They were caught in the middle of all that shit. And so, there was a little discontent from them, on both sets of it. So, when you think about it, there's like way too much discontent amongst the human race, and there will have to be an alien invasion for us to all get together and stop the hatred. But white people don't necessarily hate white people as much as they hate black people. Okay, I'm sure you guys are thinking, you don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I do. White people don't like second-class white people. They view them as just a little bit more than us, if you would. Or if you were in Vietnam, they would view second-class white people like Vietnam people view dust children. Alright? So they kind of roll on the same page with that. But there's way too much discontent. But they have more discontent for black people than they do for like the redneckish second-class citizens that get bad names. But you know what? I'm probably from those second-class white citizens, because some of those rednecks could be my ancestors. And like I said, I was talking to somebody at the movie theater the other day or yesterday, whenever the hell it was. He was on a bike. He was talking about rednecks, and he's like, "I'm ashamed to say it, but I'm one of those rednecks." He was like, "Hold on, man. Don't be ashamed to say nothing about being a redneck, because one, some of those rednecks might, again, like I said, be my ancestors. And granted, they may not claim us, but that doesn't make them no less family. And with all due respect to rednecks, some of them do have black family members, and they just like to keep that shit a secret just so that other rednecks won't judge them. Shit happens. Condoms break. Or if you raping a chick, she gets pregnant, there you go. You have a mulatto kid. Deal with it. So, in that, now I'm going to move on over to Asians and probably piss off everybody in America with this concept of discontent. Okay. Depending on how well you are diverse with your Asian history, no Asian culture has made it through one that I know of. I could be wrong. I'll be the first to admit I could be wrong. Without having some animosity and contempt towards others. Let us start with the nation of Qin, before it became China, when they weren't having a good time with Mongolians or Huns, depending on your history and providing that I'm actually saying this correctly, which I could be wrong. Let's quote that. I could be wrong. I'm not well diverse in a lot of Asian history as I would like to be. I'm not very diverse in a lot of Asian culture that doesn't deal with kung fu or certain tribes have female warriors that were like Chinese Amazons that people don't really remember. But anyway, to make a long story short, the Mongolians didn't really like the Chinese, but yet by the second go round, it would be a Mongolian who would be emperor and king, and his name would be Genghis. And they would make the Great Wall of China to keep out other Mongolians. So there's self-content and then there's content from the Chinese. And back then it was like, you either get on board or you get your throat cut, and then I'm gonna rape your wife. So it's not like it's a big fucking deal. Later down the line of time, the Chinese would have a problem with the people of Nepal. And for those who don't know, Nepal is the smaller country where the Dalai Lama comes from. And I can't remember the name of the country exactly, but it's Tibet. There you go. Came right to me right there. So, the Chinese had a problem with Tibet, so Chinese been governed Tibet, and most of the time it's been with the iron hand. Then you have same state rivalries or contentment, like North and South Korea, North and South Vietnam. And then you have little Laos way down here in the corner. They didn't really have too many problems. And then you have little Indonesia, and I think Jakarta's part of Indonesia. Then you have Tahiti, and you have the Hawaiians. Well, they all have a tiny bit of content towards each other, but not as bad as they all have had a content towards Japan. Because in most of the Asian history, Japan kind of was like the dominant force. Like, you just didn't fuck with the Japanese. And sometimes that was rebelled against during the Japanese occupation of China, which I'm probably about the dumbest fuck on the planet, because I never understood how a country that small could conquer a country that big. It still bewilders me, and I'm like, well, I can't figure out how your army is bigger than the Chinese army, unless they like completely got the Chinese guys completely off guard, which I can accept that, but when I look at it logically, like this towel would be Japan. This up here, all of this would be China. And behind would be Greater Mongolia and Siberia and all that. And it just never fucking registered how the hell that could happen. But apparently it happened. And until this day, some Chinese and Japanese people still just don't get fucking along. And same thing with North and South Korea, same thing with North and South Vietnamese. Then, when it came down to like islands like Tahiti and other places, you don't really get too much of what's going on with those places, like content-wise, with the Philippines and Tahiti and all that. You don't really get too much intel on that, because I guess they haven't really made a big enough mark. Not trying to offend, but if they did, it's surrounded somewhere over in Asia that Americans just never got taught in school about the shit. All right. Now, in my defense, I never knew about any other Asian culture other than Chinese in grade school until I had a rice cake incident with a dude from freaking Vietnam. I never knew Vietnam existed because, I was born in 73. I was in school in the 70s and 80s. And whatever age I was, at whatever school it was, me and the little Asian fella got to arguing. And I insulted him, and I told him he needs to go home and eat some rice cakes. Because I said he was Chinese. I said, you damn Chinaman, you need to go home and eat some fucking rice cakes. And he goes, no, fuck you. I'm from Vietnam. We don't even fucking like rice. I was like, oh, where the fuck is Vietnam? Yeah, it didn't dawn on me, because, like I said, I was a dumbass. Yeah, still a little bit of a dumbass, but I acknowledge my dumbness. So in that, this content that we all have for each other, it's not just black on black. It's Asian on Asian on Asian on Asian on Asian. It's white on white. It's white on black. It's black on white. It's black on Asian. It's Asian on black. Everybody in the world has contempt for each other because we all don't seem to understand the one key fact. We're all human. We all bleed red. And we all can die. Right? You live, you breathe, you eat, you drink, you shit, you die. And we feel sorrow for those that go on ahead of us or those we leave behind when we go. And the thing is, until we all get it together, that content only tends to grow. I'm multicultural. So you guys think you have problems? You think you have problems? Try not knowing where you fit in most of your life. Try that on for size. That's a shoe that you probably don't want there. If you're white and you have two different white races in your bloodstream. So let's say you're Irish and you're Canadian. Alright, cool. You're an Irish Canadian. So you're Irish, but your dad's Canadian and you live in Canada, you're Irish Canadian. Let's say you're French Canadian who have problems with regular Canadians. I never knew the difference until I went up there and I was like, what? Okay, but you guys are all Canadian. Don't you dare insult us. we're not Canadian, we're French Canadian. Like, what? And then the other guy's like, yeah, we don't really get along with the French Canadians up here. It's like, there's such a thing? So clearly, content is just fucking universal. And by content, I do mean hatred and loathing. So, it happens. It totally fucked me up. And then the fact that most of the places where I go, if you're not up to speed, people don't even know what the fuck my race is. So they're like, okay. I've told you this story. I went to Florida one time. This white fella was talking about Chinese people, and he kept looking at me. And I was like, dude, I'm not Chinese. He's like, you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm sure. My bloodline is Cherokee Indian, black and white. I know what the fuck I am. I said, unless I was switched at birth and my mom was raped by a Mongolian, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm Native American, black and white. It's like, okay, good. I don't feel bad. And he was talking about Chinese people when we were at A Taste of China. It's like Disneyland for Chinese people. It's fucking awesome there. I got to watch the guys roll tritons and shit. Getting off track. But the content that he was like sharing was like wasn't really cool, but not bad. I mean, it didn't really affect me. But the fact that he thought I was half Chinese kind of fucked me up a little bit. But other than that, I get that a lot. So I'm always mistaken for a Filipino, a Hawaiian, or a Mexican. Cool beans. I don't speak any of those languages. I only speak English. I know a little bit of Japanese, probably not enough to keep me from getting killed, but certain things that you need to know in every country, like bathroom, please, thank you, I'm sorry. And I like something to eat. Because usually if you're going to eat something, water should be complimentary. But anyway, so as I've gone through life in my 42 years, I've noticed that there's a lot of content. However, you guys have no fucking idea how it feels to be multicultural. You have no idea. Because as I said this before, I've touched on this before, I will touch on it probably 1,000 more times before my black ass dies. When you are multicultural and you don't fit in, and you have friends that are like, are you white? Are you black? What are you? You can't hang with us on this day because we're only hanging with black people. Or your white friend's like, yeah, you can't hang with us because today you're hanging with a white guy that doesn't really like people of color. No, I've had this shit happen. Speaking from fucking experience. And the thing about that is, what do us mixed kids do? You're like, okay, we know we were created in love, but here's the thing. I'm mixed by generations. I'm not like freshly mixed. I wasn't like stirred up in a blender and, put yellow egg here, white egg here, brown egg. No. It was just my grandmothers were Native Americans. One of my grandfathers was black, and one of my grandfathers was black and white. So I'm a mutt. I'm cool with that, but I'm a mutt. And the thing about that is, when you go into school and you see this, it doesn't like the black kid's hair, and it doesn't look like the white kid's hair, and as you can see, it's all over my body right now. And you're like, okay. And then you have your kids are cruel, so they would point out like itty bitty shit. James, your skin's lighter than the rest of us. You're not really black. You're not one of us. Okay, you can't prove that. Everybody in America is mixed. If you were born here, on some level or another, somebody in your family had sex with somebody black, or white, or Native American, or Chinese, deal with it. However, some of us just have more mixed features. And that seems to be my problem, because I never knew I was Native American until the 5th grade. And I've touched on that. But the content that we all share for each other, it really, really, really needs to come to an end. We all need to understand it. We all bleed red, and we have to accept each other, because it's everybody's world. It's not just one group of people's world. Now, at one time, it might have been on certain parts of the world when they were like tyranny and killing people and barbarians and stuff were around. And then, like, clans would split up, make slaves, rape bitches, that kind of thing. Nowadays, we try to maintain a peaceful coexistence. But, like I said, the content behind it is just, like, bullshit. So, as I close out, I want you guys to think about this. For every time that you've looked at a black person and said, I hate that fucking nigga. And for every time you being a black person looked at a white person and said, I hate that fucking honky. I hate that fucking chink. I hate that fucking redskin. They're probably thinking the same goddamn thing. But why? What have you done to them? Nothing. What have they done to you? Nothing. Here's the one thing that I'm going to say, and I'm closing this fucker out because it's the last video I'm making, and then I'm going to watch my one. Alright? No one on earth, no one, can help what family they're born into. If you are raised to hate people, you don't have to hate them when you get grown. You can change and you can be a better person than the people who raised you wanted you to be. You don't have to follow that path. You can disconnect from them. You can do anything you want to do once you turn 18 or 21 and you're off on your own. Live your life for you. But just remember, everybody hurts right here, and nobody wants to use this right here. And this is why there is so much content, from race to race to race, from gender to gender, because no one wants to try to understand the other people. If a man could live as a hot chick for one day, he would understand why hot chicks, or chicks in general, act the way they act. If a woman could live as a man for one day and have a rock hard dick all the time, everywhere she goes, every time she sees a chick walk by in a short skirt and the wind blows it up, and you can see underwear if she's wearing underwear. If you're lucky, she'll be wearing a thong and you get all the good looks you want. Sorry, got a little far off that one, but I meant it. She would understand why men want to have them all the time. Because pussy is the greatest drug on the earth. I'm sorry, that wasn't supposed to come out. But anyway, it came out, and I meant it. Pussy is the greatest drug on earth. And I can tell you that because men fight men over pussy. Women fight men over pussy. So, what does that tell you? Everybody loves pussy. Simple as that. Now, I will say there's an exception to the rule. Gay men do not fight men over pussy. And gay men do not fight lesbians over pussy. I'm sure the lesbians would probably win, but, that's just my personal opinion. Don't take that shit to heart. I'm sorry if I offended anybody, and fuck you, no I'm not. But the truth of the matter is, pussy is the greatest joke and the greatest love of mankind. Even women love pussy. Now, I will say this. The thing with women, because women have contempt for other women, because women would love to think that their pussy is the only pussy in the world, alright? I'm sorry. Men, we don't think like that with our dicks. We just want to fuck pussy. No, all the time. Pussy, 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 pussy. We think about pussy about 45 seconds, every second, on the second, all the time. Women, y'all don't think about dicks like that, alright? If you do, explain it to me. But anyway, when women fight over men, it's generally because their man looked at that chick. Man might not even know that damn chick. Probably just, it happens. When I was with my girlfriend, I never looked at chicks because I didn't want to have any problems, especially after that Chinese New Year's event where I said this correctly. So pay attention. I looked at her and I said, damn, that girl has a pretty dress. If I was a girl, I would have a dress just like that. That is not what my girlfriend at the time heard. What she heard was, damn, that girl has pretty breasts. If I was a girl, I would have breasts. And she's like, why are you talking about her breasts? I said, I didn't say a damn thing about her breasts. I said she had a pretty dress. And what I said was, if I was a girl, I would have a closet full of none of those dresses. She had the Chung-Li dress. Only that shit was awesome. It was pink, it was short, it was cute. And so was she. And, if I would have known I was going to be breaking up and being destroyed for the rest of my life, I would have made moves. But I didn't, because I'm an honest man and I love my girlfriend. So I didn't make any moves, but there was a big-ass argument. So, like I said, women will fight women over pussy, alright? And they will fight women over a dick. But most of the time, generally, women fight women over pussy. And, as I close out, everyone should know that every war in the world has been fought over 2 things. 3 things if you count money. But most of the time, it's been over drugs or pussy. Alright? So, like I said, it was God's greatest gift and God's greatest curse. Of course, unless you actually are a person who has a pussy. Alright, so if you're a woman, I'm sorry. I'll probably just offended like 20% of the population who will never vote for me if I run for presidency, because this video will pop back up and say how much I really think that women fight women over pussy. Luckily for me, I don't want to be the president. Yeah, been down that route. But I think we'll take a pass on that one. So, as I said, we have too much content. And we need to find a way for everyone to understand. And you know, if there's a bodysuit that men can be put in with the vagina to attach the nerves to our penis, so we'll know what that shit feels like for them, and you can make a man be a woman for a day, men would probably understand why women don't want to always give us sex. And the flip side of that, there should be a suit, give a woman a fake dick, and attach the nerve endings to her nerve endings, so she can walk around with a rock hard dick all day, so she'll know why we always want sex. So eventually it all comes back down to everything revolves around pussy. Now this has been 30 minutes and a half, and I'm getting off right now. But when you go to sleep, when you guys watch this, remember what the hell I said. There's too much content from race to race to race of people. Maybe we ought to try changing the word content into love. Now I use the word content to substitute the word hate, because hate is such a foul word. But it is the truth. We do have a lot of hatred toward each other. And most of the time it's due to the color of our skin instead of the content of our character. As Dr. Martin Luther King would say, do not judge me by the color of my skin, but judge me by the content of my character. You like that Black History Month lesson, right? But anyway, if all of us live more like that, the I have a dream speech will actually be true. And as close as we have come to getting there, there's always somebody who winds up finding a way to fuck it up. Like I said, we were close before, and then John Mel Hobbit, Lee Malvo, you jackasses, we finally got off the radar. And what do you guys do? Oh, we're gonna go get some rifles and start shooting on white people. Fuck you guys. You ruined it for all of us. We finally got off the map because 911, and it put it on Aryans and all that, and some slightly Asian people, and this dumbass gets in the car, just a hole in the back, and decides to make another dumbass shoot people. And where do we go? Back to the top of the chopping block. Because of content. And because of people hatred towards our people. And when I say our people, I do consider myself as black. My birth certificate says black, so whenever I put in the application, I put on black. No matter what the person behind the damn thing sees me writing, I don't put down other. Even though they ask me if I'm sure, I said, do I have to bring my birth certificate in here? I say, but you don't look black. I'm black. Alright? I'm not going to pull up Chris Rock and start singing I'm black and I'm black and I'm black and I'm black and I'm black from that movie CB4. But you get the drift. But I'm also Native American. And I'm also white. Which heritage do I prefer? If I had it my way, I'd be with Narf, and I would be full-blooded Native American. Unfortunately, that's not the hand that God has handed me, so I have to hand the hand that God handed me to everyone else. As long as I'm extending the olive branch and not extending a thorn bush. Alright, so my name is James Winshue. This has been Kung Fu Havoc 2. It is 32 minutes and 40-something seconds long. I hope you guys enjoyed this damn movie, video, rant, whatever. It's been fun. Much love. Be seeing ya.